The use of symbols as representations of abstract concepts is something that is essentially human. For example, a cat couldn't possibly understand the implications of the rod of Asclepius or the Red Cross as inherently medical symbols. Firstly, because cats don't possess the cultural context to understand these symbols, and secondly, because, well, they're cats. Cats and all other animals, except for humans, don't possess the power of abstract thought. Except this is not always the case. A long-term study on a bonobo showed that the animal may have a capacity for abstract thinking and recognition of symbolism. Kanzi, an at the time 8-year-old male bonobo, and Alia, a 2-year-old child, partook in a long-term study lasting 9 months, whereby the two were given 660 spoken instructions about dealing with familiar objects in novel ways. Kanzi, the bonobo, responded correctly to 74% of instructions, whereas Alia only 65%. There are also several anecdotes surrounding the Kanzi bonobo study. He has been seen to play the popular 80s video game Pac-Man, and appeared to demonstrate the know-how to beat the game, as well as several instances of appropriate usage of the pictographs he uses to communicate with the researchers in context. While this evidence is anecdotal, it does give credence to the deep-rooted nature of symbolism in the human brain, as it can be found in our distant cousin species, the bonobo. So, where does the modern conception of the logo come into this? We've talked extensively about the fundamentals of symbolism, but how does this transform into the ever-present organisation, company or corporate logo that appears wherever we turn our heads? A study published in the scientific journal Neuroimage found that people attach symbolic meanings to inanimate objects. 25 participants were asked to build Lego models on their own, and in groups of 5. They were tasked to illustrate their understanding of 6 abstract concepts: responsibility, cooperation, knowledge, security and tolerance. Upon reviewing their models, there was a clear increase in brain activity in 2 regions associated with social cognition and language: the medial prefrontal cortex, located in the middle of the forehead, and the temporal parietal hub, slightly behind the ears. These are the same areas which are active when we imagine what others are thinking, feeling, believe or want. It shows us we tend to identify with and attribute meaning onto the inanimate, a notion which naturally extends to logos.
I'd like to buy the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. I'd like to teach the world to sing. Sing with me. Perfect harmony. Perfect harmony. I'd like to buy the world a coat and keep it company.
Almost everyone in the world would recognise this logo. The Coca-Cola Company logo was designed in 1885 by Frank Mason Robinson and has since become one of the most recognisable symbols of the modern world, perhaps outperforming the fame of many major religious symbols. The brand that is Coca-Cola is a favourite of many and is a potent example of people's emotional attachment to a brand. Brand attachment is important in applying what we've already discussed about the psychological implications of symbolism in a modern, capitalist society. A study by the Journal of Consumer Psychology notes, although consumers interact with thousands of products and brands in their lives, they develop an intense emotional attachment to only a small subset of these objects. The possibility that consumers can develop strong emotional attachments to brands is interesting, as attachment theory and psychology suggests that the degree of emotional attachment to an object predicts the nature of an individual's reaction with the object. The success of Coca-Cola and many other megacorporations is down to an intense regimen of advertisement, forcing their products into the mindset of the consumer. The real question that must be answered is, who is really making the decisions when it comes to what we consume?